One's ready. Go! So you guys are going into special warfare assessment selection. It is an attributes-based selection model. What does that mean?
Guys, are we running right now to get fitter? Are we practicing running? Practicing.
I can't freaking...
So there's a holistic picture that we're looking for. The instructors are giving you input, and we're expecting an output. And everything is for a reason. If you guys haven't heard my spiel yet, everything that we do, every single exercise, has a connection to the job that you're trying to do. We don't want people at INDOC, Special Warfare Assessment Selection, whatever they're gonna call the new course when it inevitably changes somewhere down the road. I don't care what they call it. What I need is you to show me the raw materials for the things that I wanna build you into. Just like everything else, it's a crawl, walk, run.
I'm running keys just like this. All the way to ATC, you never quit. All the way to ATC, you never quit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. This is your daily drop for the 2nd of September. Hope you guys had a great Labor Day weekend. I know I did. I just did some house projects and that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys got after it. Of course I worked out. Like, what are you guys out of your mind? Are you thinking I'm just sitting here on my ass, just getting fat? I am getting fat. I'm just not sitting on my ass. So, and the reason why I'm not doing that is because I have folks like 18 Alpha Fitness, Coach Edge, that provides fantastic and tailor-made fitness programs for you based off of what your current fitness level is, what you need your fitness level to be at, and how much time do you have to get there. So he tailor-makes a program for you. He's a prior Air Force Special Warfare strength and conditioning coach. He was also an 18 series guy. So not only was he an enlisted Green Beret, but he was an officer Green Beret. We won't hold that against him, but whatever. So you guys can get over to onesready.com, top right-hand side where it says prep, partner discounts, and then scroll down to where you see 18 Out Fitness, which guess what? It's the first one. And then you can click on those links and that'll take you to his site. You can use the promo code ONESREADY to get yourself a discount. All right, here's the joy news. Pentagon established... Oh, man, I really hope that cough didn't go through. The Pentagon establishes counter-drone task force. The United States DoD created a joint interagency task force to rapidly field affordable capabilities against small unmanned aerial systems, consolidating ongoing efforts and reporting to the Deputy Secretary of Defense. The directive aligns funding, authorities, and installation defense initiatives to accelerate delivery of counter small UAS or small unmanned aerial systems capabilities across the force. Next, Secretary honors Tennessee Police with Freedom Award. The DoD recognized the Hendersonville Police Department with the Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award, for exceptional support to National Guard and Reserve members. The ceremony underscored employer partnerships that enabled service members to meet military and civilian obligations. If you guys aren't familiar with the Guard, these are people that have normal jobs. They work for normal companies, and then they get activated and put on orders, and they have to go wherever their state or their nation calls them to go to. So some of these businesses have to do without the person, and they're required. It's not like they get orders and then they're fired and they lose their position. Like, they have to be able to keep their job at that organization at the same pay rate and all that kind of stuff. It's not supposed to hurt them if they end up going on orders. So, all right. Next, and shout outs to Hendersonville. That's actually, it's a suburb. I'm saying it's a suburb of Nashville. I don't know if that's actually the case, but it's right outside of Nashville. And that's kind of where we're going to end up doing our operator training summit, which we still have slots available if you guys are interested in going. Nashville, October 25th and 26th. Man, it's going to be a great time. First day is going to be all land, running, rucking, mobility, nutrition, attributes, mobility. We got Taylor Starch teaching all kinds of stuff. I mean, the man, the myth, the legend, the mad scientist himself doing running and mobility. Get ready to have your hips explode. Okay. And then the second day is going to be all day in the pool, 10 to 12 hours in the pool, teaching you all the techniques that you could possibly need to know while you're in a pipeline. So, next, depth perception systems. Let me make sure I didn't skip anything. Oh, I did. Guard assists in Washington, D.C. beautification and security. National Guard personnel provided traffic control, public safety presence, and cleanup support under a joint task force in the nation's capital, coordinated with local authorities. DoD described the effort as combining community support with ongoing security missions. I don't see that being a bad deal for those guys, but I could be wrong. All right, depth perception system improves the explosive ordnance disposal, or EOD robots. A DoD-sponsored depth perception upgrade originating as a capstone project improves remote manipulation and distance judgment for EOD robot operators. The effort is transitioning from prototype to operational use to reduce risk to personnel. Man, I gotta imagine that this is pretty important. You know, when you're dealing with wires, you're dealing with explosives, even though it's a robot. You gotta have depth perception. It's kind of like for any of the older guys out there that when we used to roll kind of with the monocles or the older night vision goggles that had zero depth perception, and then all of a sudden you ended up with, I mean, now we've got PVS 31s and all that kind of stuff and white phosphorus ones, but man, that was a game changer driving with zero depth perception, especially when you had to drive up onto an aircraft, but just driving without depth perception and then getting depth perception, it's huge. All right, next. Autonomy Proving Ground tests alternative navigation. DoD completed the first flight test of an alternative navigation solution at its Autonomy Proving Ground, advancing resilient positioning, navigation, and timing for platforms operating in Global Positioning System or GPS-denied environments. The demonstration used a third-party software stack integrated on an unmanned aircraft. If you don't think that we're going to be operating in GPS-denied environments, I got news for you. Anywhere we go from here on out, unless it's, some third world country or less than a third world country in the Middle East or something like that, or Africa or wherever, it's going to have GPS-denied environments. So, all right, this is Air Force News. Collaborative Combat Aircraft begins flight testing. The Air Force confirmed General Atomics' YFQ-42 Alpha prototype has entered flight tests to assess airworthiness, autonomy, and mission system integration. The milestone supports the service's Collaborative Combat Aircraft program ahead of planned production decision. General Fuge Epperson assumes command of the United States Air Force Warfare Center. Brigadier General David C. Epperson goes by Fuge. Took command of the United States Air Force Warfare Center at Nellis Air Force Base with Air Combat Command leadership presiding, which is General Adrian Elmo Spain. The center oversees advanced tactics and training for air operations and the weapons school and a whole bunch of other stuff. So congrats, Fuge. It's good to see you again. All right, mass casualty exercise bolsters 35th Fighter Wing readiness. Airmen at Misawa Air Base executed an aircraft mass casualty drill that integrated security forces, fire, medical, and Japan Air Self-Defense Force teams. The event validated triage, evacuation, and force protection procedures. Man, you never wish for a mass cal event, real world, but they are actually fun to exercise whenever they, whether it's in some kind of full mission profile training event or something like that. A mass cal is always fun because it is challenging. All right, next. Northern Edge 2025 concludes in Alaska. U.S. Air Force reported completion of the multi-domain Northern Edge 2025 exercise, citing improved interoperability in Alaska's role as a homeland defense and Indo-Pacific projection hub. Leaders noted objectives were met across air, maritime, and joint elements. Next, this is Space Force news. The first officer training course graduates at Peterson Space Force Base. The Space Force graduated its inaugural inaugural officer training course cohort at Peterson Space Force Base, with the Chief of Space Operations addressing the class. The course delivers multidisciplinary preparation across space, cyber, intelligence, and acquisitions. SpaceWorks, and that's works as in WERX, which, there's SoftWorks, there's the AirWorks or whatever the Air Force version is. But anyway, SpaceWorks seeks small business innovation research, or SBIR Phase 2 innovators. SpaceWorks opened its Hyperspace Challenge to SBIR Phase 2 companies to advance the service's operational test and training infrastructure. The competition targets solutions that can transition quickly to operational use. So if you have a company and you are in this game, now's your time to hit up the Space Force. All right. Of interest, DoD halts China-based involvement on Pentagon cloud systems. Can't believe this is a thing. DoD leadership stated that Chinese nationals will no longer service Pentagon cloud environments and ordered a third-party audit of the relevant contractor support programs. The move follows investigative reporting and focus on supply chain assurance, and data security. Let me read that first part again. DoD leadership stated that Chinese nationals will no longer service Pentagon cloud environments. Am I the only one that thinks that is insane that we even allowed it in the first place? All right, next. Army researchers study heat stress indicators. The U.S. Army Research Institute of Environmental Medicine reported work to identify biomarkers and risk factors for heat stress to improve prevention and return to duty protocols. Findings aim to enhance force health protection and readiness. I know some of you guys that have gone through basic training, whether it's out in Columbia, South Carolina, or San Antonio, or any of the other places. Benning also has it, so it's hot as hell there during the summer. Any of those summer months, there's heat cats just dropping everywhere, especially in Air Force Special Warfare. I know you guys are doing it too, because I've seen it. All right. You guys have a good one. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We appreciate you being here. See ya!